All right, drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me and hear me. So the most pain in the ass thing about when the internet dies is that I can't tell you guys what's happening. So then everybody starts writing me messages and shit, and I can't write you back because the internet's not working. So anyways, things are rolling right now, so we'll just go ahead and do the thing, but definitely write refresh in the chat for anybody that ain't paying attention here, because they're going to have to refresh, otherwise they think we're still missing. Think we're good to go. All right here. All right, I see all of you hooligans over on YouTube. Please get those likes back up. Everybody over here on Twitch. See you met over on Kick. See you hooligans over here on Rumble. And I think we're okay on the website. I don't know if we're live or not on X. We'll get that figured out. Either way, these things happen. Technology and all of that. That's why we don't need AI and everything. We already got our own problems with technology. No need to add to that. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get into the second video here. This is titled Boy Battling Brain Cancer Sworn In as Honorary Officer. This is DJ Daniels. We watch him get sworn in as an honorary member of Secret Service. And he is continuing to do great things. And so I figure we might as well get into this, have some good news for once. I get told all the time about how everyone gets burned out on bad news. It's not my fault, but that's always what's in the news. So let's cover something good. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it already, and let's get into this.
Stevenson County, Illinois.
A huge crowd of law enforcement gathered in Berkeley to see the swearing in of a 13-year-old Houston, Texas boy whose quick wit and sense of humor made the crowd adore him even more.
He's just set a world record for being sworn in by the number of police departments. Tell me a healthy kid that's chasing a dream like that. He's just a great inspiration.
Departments lined up as DJ Daniel raised his right hand. DJ has been battling cancer since he was 6 years old and at the time was given 5 months to live. President Trump appointed him to the Secret Service in March. DJ's father says he never knows what his son is going to say.
Him and President Trump both is like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get. So I don't know what he's going to do when he walk in there. It's all a surprise to me. Sometimes he has me biting nails because he is very, very straight up.
DJ cracked jokes when he talked about what it's like being famous and going back to school.
You know how like a monkey is when it's happy to see you? That was all of my goddamn classmates when I stepped in there. They was talking about some... I said, what the heck is going on?
Police also swore in 9 other children with cancer from Rainbow Kids at the ceremony. Afterwards, DJ was matter-of-fact about how he says God is using him right now.
You never know when God's going to call you home. And on my 13th brain surgery, God gave me my wings, but he said, I'm going to take these back from you because you don't get these wings until you graduate the school of life.
All right, DJ Daniels there, sworn in as an officer, and got, I think they said 10 other kids who are battling cancer. They're sworn in as honorary officers also. Good news. No, unfortunately, it's pretty much all bad news from here on out. So it is what it is. At least we got some good news today. Started off with the robot rumble with the kids from the first championship. Then we had some technical issues, and now we got DJ Daniel continuing to do great things, which is awesome. Next up, we got Elise Stefanik eyes New York governor run to take Hochul's spot. Hochul isn't doing anything good for New York. We've been covering that for years. So maybe they should hand the reins to somebody else and see how they do. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about DJ Daniels. What's up, Sam? Happy freedom to you. The kid is such an inspiration. I agree. He's out there kicking ass. Sage Pup, happy freedom to you. What's up, Mary Todd? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Screaming Eagle? Let's see. Trapper, I tell you, the Electric Mafia is trying to bust Jeff up. I mean, there's always something. Every day there's something. Mary Todd is Stefanik. That's a weird-ass name. It is. I'll try and remember that. Thank you for letting me know, Mary Todd. My feed, happy freedom to you. He's so mature and an inspiration. I agree. We're always covering kids causing riots, taking selfies, and trying to get TikTok famous. This kid's actually out here trying to do stuff. Well, I guess the last couple kids we've been covering have stabbed people and shot up schools and stuff. So DJ Daniels, he's out here kicking ass. Stern, I love him so much, so sweet. I agree. What's up, my fart? Happy freedom to you. Welcome back, Winston. Happy freedom to you. Alright, hooligans. We'll get into this next video. Like I said, Elise Stefanik eyes New York governor run to take Hochul's spot. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you'd like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out, as we're making Saturdays more fun. Let's get this polled up. I think New York needs a new governor. I don't know anything about Stefanik, but could it really be worse than Hochul? Hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and let's get into this.
Our next story takes us out to the Big Apple as I give you a live look out there. The shot pretty much overexposed. That's why it looks so bright. But we are learning this morning that Governor Hochul is getting some fresh competition for her position, with a popular GOP congresswoman reportedly considering a run. Representative Elise Stefanik also happens to be a favorite of President Donald Trump. Fox 5 New York's Haley Fixler has the very latest from the East Side this Thursday morning.
Look forward to that fight. No matter who the GOP nominee is next year that I'll be running against, it'll be an extreme mega Republican.
Now, you just heard Governor Kathy Hochul's reaction to the news that Stefanik may be the second Republican now vying for Hochul's spot next year. Representative Mike Lawler is also eyeing a run. Now, this move towards the governor's seat comes after President Trump pulled Stefanik's nomination for the U.S. ambassadorship to the UN. He asked the six-term Congresswoman to remain in Congress instead because Republicans could not afford to lose her with such a narrow majority. Now, reports indicate that she is being encouraged now to run for governor, and this could be because of accusations that Hochul is using her power over judges to threaten Trump with his fraud case. There are reports that say Hochul told Trump when she met with him in February to discuss congestion pricing that she controls the judges. Now, Hochul's team is denying these allegations, and things are already firing up. So take a look at this. On social media, Stefanik posted about Hochul, and in response to Hochul's mayor's poll results, she wrote, quote, "This latest bombshell polling already proves what every New Yorker knows. We must fire Kathy Hochul in 2026 to save New York. Hochul is the worst governor in America, and it's not even close." Now, Stefanik went on to call Hochul incompetent. All right, looking back, Stefanik got a higher percentage of votes than Trump in her congressional district 3 different times, 2016, 2020, and 2024. She got 62% of voters in her district back in November. Experts say that may mean that she could attract some of the state's swing voters, and she could capitalize on Hochul's low approval rating.
She's absolutely credible for this role and could probably mount a very strong, well-funded campaign. It goes without saying that she's very close to President Trump and the Trump administration and could expect some support from that quarter as well.
And in response to those reports, Trump posted on social media saying, quote, "Congresswoman Elise Stefanik is great." He then added 3 exclamation points. Now, it is important to note, though, that she has not officially announced her candidacy. Live on the East Side, Haley Fixler, back to you.
All right.
All right. So I guess it's Hochul and not Hochul. I don't know who makes these people's last names. Either way, I don't think it could be worse than Hochul. Maybe. New York has ran like crap. I didn't realize that Stefanik was a MAGA right-wing extremist like Hochul said, but, you know, like I said, it can't be much worse than what Hochul's doing out there. We know that Eric Adams is already trying to play ball with President Trump. He said he would comply with ICE when it comes to these mass deportations. That caused Hochul to go after Eric Adams and try to strip him of his power as mayor. They decided to let that go. And now it looks like Hochul's seat is being eyed by Stefanik. Well, we'll see how that goes for the midterms. Next up, we have Florida State shooting. Multiple injuries reported. 1 suspect in custody. This video is probably an hour old, maybe a little bit more at this point, so there's probably new details, but This will be a rough summary of what happened in Florida. I don't know if we're going to have school shootings every day or what. Kind of reminds me of what Alex Jones was on the stand for. I'm not going to talk about that. Either way, we're going to read through the chat first before we get into the FSU shooting. Sam, I heard today that some of the Democrats want AOC for POTUS 2028. Yeah, I keep seeing that too. I don't know why. That's going to end up being Harris 2.0. It's going to be the same thing. You got some dumbass out there talking nonsense, pretty much just flapping their lips, not actually saying anything. What is AOC going to do for anybody? A bunch of nothing. So I don't know if they think because she's young and she might have her OnlyFans together. I'm not really sure. Selling feet pics isn't going to make you president. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to see AOC win. That would be awful. That would be awful. Jay Spray, he's cool, but I don't trust the Fed. Talking about DJ Daniels. Yeah. My feed, she is an extremist. Who? Stefanik is? Or are you talking about Hochul is? Hochul. That's such a weird name. The local yokel, Hochul. Told to care Stefanik is a strong lady. What do you guys know about Stefanik? I've never heard of this person. What have they done? What have they not done? I remember when we were talking about Pam Bondi before I knew who she was, and you guys let me know that she brought the red flag laws to Florida and stuff like that. We might look her up here in a second just to see what the AI says. Sage Pub, New Scum and Hochul are both horrible. Yeah, I agree. Pumpkin, you think Stefanik will win? We'll know in the midterms. The midterms is going to be interesting because we're either going to have a red wave or we're not. Happy freedom to you, my feed. Kevin, AOC has the presidential race mixed up with the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, she's going to be running in the wrong race. Sam, it'd be a nightmare. Yeah, it would. AOC being president, it would be terrible. It's a PAG. Happy freedom to you. Stern, she speaks up. Good. We need somebody like that. We need people like that in office. Sitting quietly, sitting on their hands isn't saving us. Damon Walker, happy freedom to you. AOC is an actor, not a representative, in my opinion. She should go back to waiting tables at the bar. I agree. She just wants to be TikTok famous. What's up, Lil Ripper? Happy freedom to you. Lil Ripper, Trump appointed her for something, then he took away so she could run for governor. Interesting. Yeah, they mentioned that President Trump was suggesting that she stays a member of Congress, but then later on supported her to run for governor, even though it hasn't been announced yet. What's up, Rhyme Time? Happy freedom to you. Cinderella, she was appointed as ambassador of the UN. That's interesting. Russell, you're cracking me up. Let me see. Screaming Eagle, AOC's in the midst of an identity crisis. I wonder if she's going to start acting like Jasmine Crockett. Sometimes she does. I mean, she doesn't need to sound any dumber, and she already does. But, you know, she could always outdo herself. Let's go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, Florida State shooting, multiple injuries reported, one suspect in custody. Now, I'm not sure what they're going to say in the video, but since the video, I have come across information saying that one individual has died, one of the victims has died, and that there's 6 injured currently. Now, those numbers could be different now. I've been putting the schedule together for like 2 hours, so with this being an active situation that's constantly evolving, the details could be a little bit different. But either way, let's get into this. This is going to be a summary of what happened at, I almost said Full Sail. It's not Full Sail. Florida State University. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommiTube, and let's get into this.
About half past the hour, and we are still monitoring what is being described right now as an active scene at Florida State University in Tallahassee. Reports of an active shooter came in a short time ago. We have been told that there are multiple victims that have been taken to an area hospital, as many as 4. We are waiting new details from police, and the FBI is on the ground there right now as well. You're looking live at Florida State University. As you can imagine, there are folks that are obviously incredibly concerned and calling loved ones to give an update on if they are okay. Senior correspondent Steve Harrigan is in our Southeast Bureau right now with the very latest details. What do we know so far, Steve?
Sandra, let's try and set the scene again with what we know so far. This happened just after noon, Florida State University at Tallahassee, right near the student union. Now, classes have just ended at the university. They are in the middle of exam session going on right now. And the shooting occurred near the student union. That's where big crowds, especially in the middle of the day, tend to gather, tend to eat lunch. As far as local news is reporting, at least 4 people have been injured. Some students who ran from the scene said they heard as many as 20 shots fired. A local hospital is saying they are taking injured patients from the event at Florida State University. Some of these might be gunshot wounds, others perhaps trampled. One father said his daughter was actually trampled when people in a panic were trying to run from that scene. So one suspect is in custody. We don't know if there's any more in custody. And you really try and sort these things out initially by the law enforcement presence on the scene. I've got to say, it looks like a very large presence, not just police and fire, but FBI on the scene as well. They've got a major area just completely blocked off as they're getting to more details on exactly what happened here. FBI and police working together. One suspect in custody, at least 4 people injured in the shooting at noon, Florida State University. Sandra, back to you.
All right, Steve, jump back in here as you get new details. Thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno.
Okay, like I said, rough summary there of what happened at Florida State University, school shooting that happened today. I see over on YouTube, Proud Patriot Girlie says there's 2 dead and 6 injured right now in the shooters in the hospital. Interesting. Thank you for letting me know, Proud Patriot Girlie. Like I said, this is kind of an evolving situation, but it's really weird because the last school shooter we covered, we knew what he looked like, we knew what his name was, we knew how old he was. We know everything except for the gun and how he got the gun in the school. We covered the school doing a presser. The presser claimed that security's top notch and that they don't know how he got the gun into the school. He must have used alternative means to enter the school or something like that, and that was the last we heard about it. There's actually a video out there that he made claiming that those 4 kids that he shot were threatening to kill him, so he showed up the next day and shot all of them. Now, as far as I know, they all survived. With this school shooter incident, I don't know what the shooter looks like. We don't know what he used. We don't know how he got the gun, how he brought it to school. We don't know anything. Chances are it's a shapeshifter. That's the only time they don't tell us what the shooter looks like is when it's a shapeshifter, because they don't want people to realize that trans students, once they get guns, they take them to school. That's what they do. They should not be allowed to have guns. There's a whole list of things they shouldn't be allowed to do. But either way, it makes me feel it's probably a shape-shifting student. Either way, next up, RFK Jr.'s controversial comments on autism. Now, I don't know what he said that's so damn controversial, but either way, we've been covering lately lots of autism in the news. They're saying 1 in every 31 8-year-olds or school-age students now have autism. I don't know if it's just overdiagnosed or if there's really something going on. And I've been saying for a couple days, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that there's a plethora of labels that they're overdiagnosing on all of us because it benefits doctors for us all to be sick, whether we're actually sick or we just have labels claiming that we're sick, because it means we're going to keep coming back to the doctor, we're going to take medication, we're going to look for treatment, and all of that benefits them. So they want all of us to believe that we're sick. They even show an individual in this video who's supposedly like a rocket scientist, but he's on the spectrum. And so they're all mad at RFK Jr. because apparently all of us are autistic, and he's a mean man for saying that, or whatever the fuck. Either way, that's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about the Florida State University shooter. Russell is probably a 9mm. Yeah, that's what I think too. I think these kids are bringing pistols to school. If it was an AR, they'd have it all over the news. They'd be talking about banning assault weapons and stuff like that. Russell, I think it's 2 dead now. It was done by a sheriff deputy's kid with the deputy's personal weapon. Holy crap. Holy crap, Russell. That does not look good. That guy is definitely in the hot seat right now. Sam, my friend Alex Coker was on Newsmax 2 being interviewed about the school shooting a few minutes ago. That's crazy, Sam. If you can find the video, send it to me and I'll check it out after the live. Snugs, Florida State University, shooting 2 dead, shooter of Sundep. Yeah. Yep. Sub-Zero, happy freedom to you. Interesting, Zero. Screaming Eagle, MK Ultra were being psyoped. Definitely could be. It seems like every day we got a school shooting. Disco, the deputy was his mother. Oh, I don't know why I'm so bad at misgendering people. That's terrible. In 2025, I'm out here misgendering everybody. It happens. What's up, Disco? Happy freedom to you. I wonder what the follow-up's going to look like if it's the deputy's son was the shooter and then the deputy's firearm was used in the shooting. That is not going to go over well. I think I follow them, Kevin. I think you suggested that channel before. I'm pretty sure I follow them. So, Brian, happy freedom. Brian, shooter's in custody? I think so. I think in the video they say the shooter is in custody, and someone in the chat said the shooter's in the hospital right now. Told to care, the shooter's 20 years old, son of a female cop. Thank you for letting me know. What's up, Mr. Satan? Happy freedom to you. Kevin, the old lady next door, believes that them fake Trump farting videos. She was arguing with me the other day, screaming that Trump stinks, and they got him farting on video. That's so stupid, especially after old man Walter. We had 4 years of Biden, and we got liberals worrying about Trump farting. They're so lame. They're so lame. They're always saying he's wobbly, bobbly, and he smells bad, and this, that, and the. I seen a video where he was walking funny, and they were saying he had a fake leg, or he had a disease, or he had gout. I mean, I don't know what they were talking about. Just saying bad stuff about Trump. It's like, the name calling doesn't stop him from being president. Like, what a bunch of idiots. He's not qualified to be president. He farts. What? I bet that old lady farts. What's up, Bill Clay? Happy freedom to you. Era 16, I think if autism was being diagnosed better, we should be able to find a correlation with the older generation. It cannot be found, though. Yeah, and that's why I said I'm not denying the existence of these issues at all. Not at all. I just think that these things are being overdiagnosed. Like I've told you guys a million times, I was in special ed throughout school and all that shit, and when I would be in my special ed classes, there'd be like 40 other kids, and all of them got ADHD. All of them are on Ritalin. All of them are different, though. They all behave differently, have very different personalities, but all of them have the same problem. I was the only one in there with dyslexia. Maybe I don't know. I think I'm actually dyslexic, honestly, the way that I read in the chat. But I think that there's an overdiagnosis. I think that's the real epidemic going on here. And maybe autism is on the rise. I don't know, but we need to figure out what the correlation is, what's causing it. RFK Jr. is saying it's like environmental, like it's our surroundings, it's the food we eat, lead paint, like, I don't know, stuff like that. But they don't like that. They don't like that at all. What's up, Crazy Times? Happy freedom. What's up, Red Wagon? What's up, Plukester? Happy freedom. Plukester, cops' kids are about as well behaved as preachers' kids. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I've been to school with both. Those are the kids that stick drugs up their butt to get away with it and stuff. And it's like, they're hardcore. Those are like future serial killers and shit. Damon Walker, quit criticizing yourself. I am my own worst critic, Damon Walker. Keeps me humble. What's up, Flies High? Happy freedom. Flies High spokesperson said her service has been exceptional with the department. Well, we'll see how it goes. What's up, Savage Gaming? Happy freedom to you. They always want to sell us a miracle. You're not wrong. Proud Patriot Girlie, he had a handgun and a shotgun? Holy. That kid's lucky to be alive. What's up, Peter? Happy freedom to you. Probably picture earlier. The shooter's son's name is Phoenix Eichner. We'll go with Eichner. He's 20 years old, anti-Trump, and he used his mom's old service weapon. Well, they should throw him in prison forever. What's up, Rooster? Happy freedom to you. Sam, schools get extra funding because students having ADHD. I totally believe that. J-Spray. I heard that there was multiple shooters. One took one to the head. Interesting. Well, the follow-up video should be interesting tomorrow. Is this the video, Sam? I'll check this out after the live. Thank you for sending it to me, Sam. Ghostly, nothing wrong with licking a window or two. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Like I said, you know, it's one thing if you got problems going on, right? But you're just bored and you go to the doctor, they'll give you some labels. I don't think anybody goes to the doctor without walking away with a couple labels. That's what they're there for. What's up, Lisa? Happy freedom to you. All right, hooligans, let's get on to this next one. Like I said, RFK Jr.'s controversial comments on autism.
Robert F.
Leave it to the leader of HHS to piss off everybody because of autism comments. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s controversial new comments on autism.
At his first news conference as health secretary, Kennedy addressed the CDC's latest report on the rising number of children being diagnosed with autism, and Thompson has the latest.
Some of the key numbers.
Speaking for nearly 30 minutes, the nation's top health official, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., taking aim at the CDC's latest report on rising autism rates.
This is a preventable disease. We know it's an environmental exposure.
The report released Tuesday says 1 in 31 8-year-olds were identified with autism spectrum disorder in 2022, up from 1 in 36 in 2020. RFK Jr. discounting the CDC's own previous finding that genetic predisposition is a risk factor in developing autism, and doubling down on his assertion that it's an epidemic.
Genes do not cause epidemics. You need an environmental toxin.
Dr. Zach Warren is one of the authors of the CDC report.
We have data that a certain percentage of some types of autism can be clearly explained by genetic differences. We have other evidence suggesting that actually it's the complex interplay of environmental factors.
RFK Jr.'s bleak description of people living with autism causing outrage.
Autism destroys families. These are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. And we have to recognize we are doing this to our children, and we need to put an end to it.
It is demeaning, it is dehumanizing, and it is flat out wrong.
Sam Branson has a PhD in physics and is an autism researcher. He and his 7-year-old son both have autism.
I think a lot of autistic people have quite a bit to contribute to the world.
Kennedy says he plans to provide more autism data in real time, adding that he'll direct resources to studying environmental factors, exposures, and external factors.
And that's where we're going to find the answer.
Okay, I think that this is a complicated situation, right? Because they say that autism is a spectrum, and trying to think how to word this because I don't want to just outright piss everybody off. I really think that overdiagnosis is a big problem in this situation. So my nephew is nonverbal autistic. Okay, he cannot speak the way that me and you can. He's gone through training and stuff. He goes to a facility, learns every day. He's making great progress, but he'll never be living what we would consider a normal life, right? He's not able to. He's not pretending. He's just doing the best he can, right? But then you see these examples that they put in this video, these regular people who you would never think is autistic, right? And it's because autism is a spectrum, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm a doctor, but we all know these things. This is common knowledge out here. I think when RFK Jr. is talking about people not paying taxes and not able to have a normal life, he's talking about people like my nephew, not like the rocket scientist who is like, well, I think we have a lot to contribute to the community and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, buddy, ain't nobody talking about you. And like I've been saying for forever, I don't think any of us are batting 100. I think if all of us were to go in and get psych evaluations, they would find something wrong with us. We'd be ADHD, dyslexia, we would have bipolar disorder, we might have multiple personality disorder, we could have borderline personality disorder, you could be autistic, you could have OCD. Like, they have so many problems out there, and all of us fit the bill somehow. There's so many symptoms that if you meet 3 of them, you automatically get this brand new label, right? So if they label all of us autistic, do we get to be mad? That's what they're doing. They're putting these labels on all of us. We're just going and searching for it, going to the doctor's office. Hey, I feel like, sometimes I have bad days. And instead of the doctor going, yeah, everyone has bad days, they go, oh no, you must be manic depressive. You must be this, you must be that. Here's some labels. Here's some medicine. Here's some pills. Come in once a week and buy these pills off of me. Because that's the name of the game. That's what they do. So I think that they are misunderstanding, probably intentionally, what RFK Jr. is saying. I think he's talking about people who have it really, really hard, right? Have a difficult quality of life because of autism and stuff like that. I think that's who he is referencing. Not the rocket scientists, not the stupid TikTokers that are all outraged and stuff like that. People who struggle with quality of life. I think that those are the people who really, should have the label and stuff like that. And we were talking about this yesterday, probably the day before too. When we were younger, it wasn't something you wanted to do. You didn't want to go out there and have people think you had mental illness. You didn't want to behave as if you had mental illness if you could control yourself, because that's the separation. If you don't actually have stuff going on that's hurting the quality of your life, you're kind of doing wrong about people who are special needs. You walk around telling everybody you're autistic and your quality of life is pretty normal. That's kind of an offense against people who really have special needs, right? It's almost like you're making fun of them, or you're taking up their resources, right? You're trying to make claims on insurance and stuff like that. It's just simply wrong. We've seen these protesters over the last 5 years claim that they're autistic and they're this, that, and the other, and that's why they dye their hair 5 colors. That's why they love communism. That's why they're severely obese, terribly ugly, mutilating their bodies, and sitting out there pissing and moaning about stuff that ain't even actually happening, kind of like the Medicaid and the Social Security cuts that are not really happening, but the protesters are all against it, again, against something that's not actually happening. I think that overdiagnosis is a big problem on why these numbers are increasing, and they're saying 1 out of every 31 8-year-olds has autism. Do they really? Or are they being put down on a list of doctors that are overdiagnosing? Maybe we're not seeing an increase in autism. Maybe we're seeing an increase in overdiagnosis. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be a doctor or pretending to be a doctor. I'm not a gynecologist. I just play one on TV. I think that's what's going on here. Now, maybe there is an increase, and if there is, maybe it's like RFK Jr. was saying. Maybe it's environmental. Maybe it's our food. Maybe it's that mom's been drinking too much while she was pregnant. Maybe she should put the meth pipe down. Let's consider some other options here. Maybe it's vaccines, right? But they always say, oh, no, it's not those. It's not that. It's not the mercury in the vaccines. Okay, it must be something else then. But I don't think that this is just coming out of nowhere. I don't think we're having an increase just because. There's got to be reasons. And I think overdiagnosis is a big part of it. That's just my opinion. You guys are entitled to your opinion. But autism is in the news a lot, and it's kind of like talking about deleting babies. It is a very controversial subject, and no matter how I spill it, it's going to be wrong, and people are going to be fucking mad, and that's just too bad. So, either way, next up we got what to know about recent Pentagon suspensions amid leak investigation. Now, I don't know exactly what leaked from the Pentagon. It's hoo-ha's leaky. I'm not exactly sure, but there's people being suspended and investigated because of it, and it seems like we have a lot of leaks going on. I don't know if that's because we got the internet and we're able to bust these guys now or what, but it makes me wonder how often is there leaks from the Supreme Court, the White House, ICE, now the Pentagon. It's kind of weird that this keeps happening, but either way, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see how many of you I pissed off with that little speech there about autism. Jay Spray, everyone who pees their pants is the coolest. That's right. I love that Adam Sandler movie. Russell, my nephew has autism. He was premature birth. Yeah. Well, and you know, that's kind of what we're saying here is like, there's people who can't help but what is happening with them. And then you got other people who are just really sad and go to the doctor and pay enough money to get these labels. And then they walk around with these labels. So it's like, I don't know. Russell, I'm mad at you now. Yeah, I know, Russell. Jay Spray, we're all on the spectrum. I think so. I think we're all on the spectrum. I think if the doctor looks at us hard enough, he'll find where we land on the spectrum. And if all of us are autistic, then what is being autistic? Right? Like that's what I mean. Like, just finding illness for the sake of finding an illness is how we get where we are today. Zero, you think it's related to the vaccines? I know a lot of people who feel that way. Sam, I want some Spectrum. The internet company that provides my internet is called Spectrum. It pisses me off. I'll tell you that. What's up, Let's Go, Brandon? Happy freedom to you. Free the good Texan. I'm just missing a quarter of my brain. That's no excuse, Free the good Texan. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. What's up, DCat? Happy freedom. DCat, my brother had brain damage from the day that he was born thanks to the doctor. So autism, I have no idea about, but he's just fine. He's living his life now. Yeah. Well, you know, and that's really what we're all trying to do is maintain a high quality of life. However we can, as long as we can get there, that's you know, the goal here. And that's supposed to be what doctors are for. I'm struggling with this. I want quality of life. I have the right to pursue happiness. Help me fix the quality of my life. They're supposed to fix you and send you on your way. But they found out if they can just feed our symptoms and not fix our problems, we will be subscribing to their bullshit until we die. We'll be getting medicine and treatment and visits and follow-ups and checkups and boosters and everything else until we die. And that's big bucks for them. What's up, Information Warlord? Happy freedom to you. Pumpkin, everyone has deficits. Yo, is my internet going to take a shit? It's because I said Spectrum, isn't it? It's got to be. Pumpkin, everyone has deficits. No one is perfect. I have anxiety and I'm not crazy. Yeah, Pumpkin. I mean, I got anxiety and all kinds of stuff. The thing is they need to draw a line between like where we're supposed to be and where we are. Where is normal and how far from normal are we? And they don't want to do that. They just want to say, oh, we're all on the spectrum. Yo, is my internet really going to take a shit right now? I was so prepared to have a fantastic day today. Spectrum's going to piss me off. I know they're tired of me calling and cussing them out. DCat, hell, I'm a sexaholic. That's just what I do. Yeah, DCat, we're not faulting you for it. I'm going to blow a gasket over this internet. I don't know why this is happening. DCAT, there is no level of normal. Take some LSD and you'll find out. Yeah, DCAT, that's why it's my favorite. Sage Pup, yeah, I'm watching my internet drop. It pisses me off. Just, I can't even express it. I call these assholes and I'm like, this is what's happening. And they're like, weird, it looks fine on our end. We'll send a tech out. Then I take the whole damn day off and some fat guy walks up in my apartment and then he's like, oh, it looks fine. Oh, if it looks fine, then why the fuck can't I do my job? Anyways, we'll see. If this shit doesn't straighten out, we'll have to reset it again because I simply don't know what else to do. Yeah, we're like dead on Kick. Oh, there we go. Meta, my cousin is autistic also. High on the scale, nonverbal. It is genetic. My uncle is autistic, but a Aerosmith genius. The question is, do things like fluoride, dyes, vaccines, etc. contribute to accelerating the gene? Absolutely, Meta. See, and that's the thing, is like they're saying they want to get to the bottom of what's causing autism, but then they turn around and say, well, we don't know if we're going to pull fluoride out of the water. I'm like, okay, but you already know that fluoride is causing IQ issues. What about other stuff, our foods and stuff like that? What about that? Oh, no, we don't want to investigate that. Okay, well, then you're not really trying to get to the bottom of this, you know? Stern, you got Spectrum too? I do not like those people, I'll tell you. I cannot stand that they're always like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. It's not fine when I need to work. Teasel, 72 vaccines, I believe. I think it depends where you are, but yeah, it is a lot. What's up, Christine? Happy Freedom. Christine, my son was diagnosed by a psychologist after 6th grade, and I had gotten a flu shot. You think it could be the flu shot too that's causing it? I've heard a lot of people say that too. There's a lot of people I know that get the flu shot and then turn around and get sick. Get real sick, sicker than they've ever been. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I've always thought that the flu shot could be testing. Because the flu shot comes around every year, it affects people differently. If you have a bad reaction to it, the doctor doesn't seem to care. They'll just give you different medicine or give you an antibiotic or something like that. I've always thought that, because I don't get the flu shot, I'd rather fight the flu. But I've always thought that would be easy testing. Especially because old people always go get the flu shot. They don't even know any different. So they show up, they get the new shot of the year. They have a reaction. The doctors study the reaction. That kind of sounds like human testing to me. But again, I don't have anything to back that up. It's just my own thoughts rolling around my head. It's a Blonde Beard. Happy Freedom. Blonde Beard, Spectrum doesn't maintain their infrastructure. Yeah. Every time I talk to them, they're like, oh, your numbers are fine. I'm like, yeah, but I need them to sustain. I don't need internet to do this. I need it to just roll straight. I need a fiber optic. That's what I really need. Zero coworkers got COVID. He got the jab about 6 weeks ago. Yeah, that's how it goes. Sam, you got Spectrum internet too? Sucks. Freely texting, the one time I missed the flu shot, I got the flu. Damn. DCAT, making punches in the face great again. That's what America really needs. Yeah. We all acted right when we were worried about getting punched in the face. Kevin, yet they want their money every month. Absolutely. And that's what I tell them on the phone. I get all pissed off when I'm calling them. I'm like, you like sending texts to my house twice a week? Because that's what happens. And they're like, well, we just want you to be happy. Well, guess what? I'm not happy, but you still want me to pay this bill. You want to interfere with my job, but you still want me to pay this bill. Ghostly, wait, people are still getting the jab for COVID? Yeah. Boosters, too. What is your name? QWERTY? Happy freedom to you, QWERTY. Let's see here. QWERTY. I had the same issue with my internet when I was in an apartment situation. Although they check your signal to make sure it's within range, they don't normally check peripheral or outside equipment. It turns out in my situation, the splitter for each apartment was not capable of splitting the load equally during congestion and would bog down. Yeah, and that's exactly what I think is going on. The other thing that I think is going on is that my lights flicker. The electricity in my entire apartment will flicker every 45 seconds. And I don't know why that is, but it's always been that way. For 8 years that I've lived in this apartment, that's how it's been. So it makes me think that my modem and my router is hiccuping every time the electricity jumps. If I had a higher frame rate in my camera, you'd actually watch my lights flicker. They flicker every couple seconds. And I think it's causing my gear to hiccup, and that's dipping my internet. But I don't know. I hate dealing with it every day. Screwing with the live. What's up, Jesse? Happy freedom. Peter's, try Starlink. Their upload rate's not good enough for me. If Starlink would fix their upload rate so it'd be better, I would get Starlink, even though it's twice the price of what I pay right now, and I pay like $200 a month for internet. Their upload rate isn't good enough. J-Spray boosters are for recovering junkies. I thought that was called something else. I can't even remember what it's called now. I used to know what it was called, and now I can't remember. It's what they give recovering opiate addicts. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. Either way, let's go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, what to know about the recent Pentagon suspension amid leak investigation. Apparently, there's been some leakage from the Pentagon. Now, I can't remember if they actually tell you what was leaked in this video. I don't think they do. I have no idea what it is. But before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick. If you would like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, the website, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We got chapstick emojis, screaming goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. Let's get this pulled up. We got a leaky Pentagon. Someone better cork it. All right, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
The Pentagon put a third top Defense Department official on administrative leave as it investigates potential information leaks. Sources tell CBS News Colin Carroll, the chief of staff to the Deputy Secretary of Defense, was escorted from the Pentagon yesterday. Earlier this week, the two other people you see on your screen, Senior Advisor to the Defense Secretary Dan Caldwell and the Pentagon's Deputy Chief of Staff, were also placed on leave. CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson is following this for us and joins us from the Pentagon this morning. Good morning to you, Ellie. What more are you learning about all this?
Good morning, Errol. These three officials are not just any officials. It's worth noting that these officials are some of the closest to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's inner circle. Dan Caldwell, the senior advisor to the secretary, and Darren Selnick, the deputy chief of staff, are not just close to Hegseth on the org chart, but apparently have known Hegseth for years before coming to the Pentagon because of the three men's work at the organization, though at slightly different times, concerned Veterans for America, which Hegseth used to lead. Those two men escorted out of the Pentagon on Tuesday, and then a third, Colin Carroll, escorted out yesterday as part of this wide-sweeping investigation into unauthorized disclosures. Hegseth's chief of staff authorized or ordered this investigation at the end of March in a memo saying that their investigation needed to uncover a complete record of unauthorized disclosures and to use lie detector tests if necessary. That memo he issued on the same day the Pentagon denied reports that Elon Musk was coming to the Pentagon to receive a classified briefing on war plans with China. Officials tell us that this investigation is not just about one story, not just about necessarily that New York Times story, but probably many other stories, and that more officials, in addition to the three removed this week, could be removed in the coming days.
All right, remarkable. Eleanor Watson with the details. Thank you.
That poor girl's forehead is bigger than mine. Anyways, like I said, we got a leaky Pentagon here. It's not good, but they're all being suspended and supposedly investigated. We'll see if there's any accountability. I'm glad that these strangers that we've never heard of are being held accountable, but what about Nancy Pelosi? What about other people? What about like Blinken and Mayorkas and all these other people who were a part of the invasion that happened in the border? Like, when are they going to be held accountable? Are they ever going to be held accountable? What about the Epstein Island people? Like, what about the Sanctuary City elected officials that continue breaking federal law and have already admitted to federal crimes? I can't think what it's called. What is it called when you tell on yourself? They've already self-incriminated. They have already incriminated themselves. So when are those people going to be suspended and investigated? When's that going to happen? I don't know. You got to hold criminals accountable. It'd be nice if that ever, start. But either way, next up we got Ivan Munoz, which I'm probably not saying that name correctly. Cobb County Sheriff's Office employee is facing charges of child molestation. We got good cops and bad cops, and this here is a bad cop. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about our leaky Pentagon. Josh 1776, what about Hillary's aide who kidnapped kids from Haiti? Yeah, exactly. Zero, they need to have charges filed on all of them. Absolutely. If you're leaking government secrets, I don't understand how that's not treason. Like, I just don't get that. If people were worried about treason, they wouldn't be committing it. It's that simple. Snooks, methadone? No, I was talking about Suboxone. But yeah, I think methadone's a thing too. Break a leg? Yeah, I know I am. If something happens, then it happens. YouTube doesn't pay the bills around here, so whatever's whatever. Sage Pup, there's obviously individuals in the Pentagon loyal to the lefty agenda. Yeah, no doubt about it. What's up, NR user? Happy freedom to you. Told to carry, nah, butt plugs. That's not what we were talking about. No. I mean, maybe that's what they give recovering drug addicts. Here's a butt plug and some Suboxone. You'll be all right. Screaming Eagle, I never split my loads. Yeah, no, it's a singular donation. Yeah, you hooligans knew what I was talking about. Ghostly, plug the battery pack into the wall and then plug your stuff into the battery pack. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that after the live. I appreciate you guys suggesting that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Got this thing sitting here in the box. ER16, my ex actually married Terry the cable guy from Spectrum. Holy. Screaming Eagle, eat dirt. You'll never get sick. When I used to work at this breakfast restaurant, I used to be a breakfast cook or whatever. There was this woman there. She was kind of the mother hen of the kitchen. She was an older lady, probably in her 60s, up in everybody's business, loved to gossip and stuff. She'd be pulling moldy burger out of the walk-in and eating it raw. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? She's like, why do you think I'm never sick? Like, yeah, but you're going to die from salmonella poisoning, so I mean, whatever's whatever. MC, Comcast sucks. We don't have Comcast up here. When I lived in Niles, we had Comcast. Sorry to hear that, MC, but happy freedom to you. Puff of stuff. It's not a competition. Free the Texan, does Jeff have a UPS? He needs one badly if he has flickering electricity. I don't know what that is, Free the Texan. I got everything plugged into power strips just in case, but I don't know what a UPS is. Other than that shitty delivery service. They're better than FedEx, though. J Spray, only government officials are allowed to break the law. Well, illegals too. Yeah, pretty much. Everyone but us. Democrats too. Democrats, elected officials, illegals, everybody except for the people that pay taxes and work full-time jobs. Meta, Rumble won't verify my email. There's a lot of people that have said that over the last couple of years we've been on Rumble. I wonder what fixes that, Meta. When was the last time you tried it? QWERTY UPS battery backup is the only... Oh, okay, that's what you guys are talking about. Yeah, I got one. It's sitting right... I think it's sitting right here. I gotta pull it out of the box, though. I'll get it fixed, and maybe tomorrow things will go a little smoother. Tori Wayne, yeah, we do got a wish list. It's on the link tree. I'll drop the link tree link really quick. Maybe. Did I gotta do this? Let me see. HTTPS, That should work. There. Uninterrupted power supply. Thank you, Persian. Christine, people need to be held accountable or it won't stop. Starting with our politicians or the left. Yeah, I absolutely agree. We talk about it every single day. I try to not talk about it because I don't want to be so damn redundant. But every day we cover problems. And there's always a lack of someone doing something about it. It's very frustrating. Russell, you haven't had any problems with Spectrum? If all I was doing was downloading, I'd be fine. I got 1,000 download, but for live streaming, it's an upload, and their upload is terrible. Snooks, don't you worry about me pulling out of the box. We don't need little Mac babies running around. I mean, come on, man. Holy. Little Ripper, that's what they want. The lacking of anything. Yeah. Peter, Comcast, Frontier, Spectrum, all suck. Horrible corporations. Yeah. Damon Walker, if you follow the rules, you just keep spinning the wheels. Just like the hamster rolling around, it goes where it goes. Yes, around it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. That's right, Damon Walker. And like I was saying at the end of the lockdowns, it's like they're encouraging all of us to participate in criminal activity, right? The illegals do whatever they want. Elected officials do whatever they want. Criminal Democrats do whatever they want. Everybody else gets spit on while they work full-time jobs. They show up at parent-teacher conferences. They do the best they can to raise their kids right and protect their family and put food on the table, and then they get demonized on the news. The Pentagon comes out, says you celebrate Christmas, you might be a terrorist. You celebrate Hanukkah, you might be a terrorist. If you acknowledge the 911 day, you might be a terrorist, right? And these are like regular things, but we're always the people who are being targeted. And so it seems like, why don't I just break the law? If I break the law, I'll be like everyone else. I'll get free shit. I'll be on TV. I'll get a $500,000 GoFundMe for stabbing kids in the heart. Why not do that? And that's what they're telling you. So if all of us devolve into being idiots like that and we all participate in the shenanigans, well, then nobody's doing the right thing. If nobody's doing the right thing, we don't have structure. If we don't have structure, we have martial law. That's where we are. They will come and correct us if we won't correct ourselves. So it's a big old game where they are encouraging us to participate in the bullshit, because that means if we can't control ourselves, they will gladly show up to control us for us. And so that's why we cannot participate in the bullshit, regardless of how demoralizing it is to constantly cover criminals being criminals and no one doing anything about it. It's all a game. It's the bait. Don't take the bait. Continue to be a good person. Continue to do what you're supposed to do. Raise your kids right. Make good choices, even if nobody's looking. Walk with honor. Walk with integrity. And good days will come. It's inevitable. It is inevitable. You got to make those good days happen. Bad days happen every day, so you got to make those good days happen. Do not fall for the bait. Leave it to the soft and stupid to do that. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this next video here. Like I said, Ivan Munez. That's probably not how you say that name. This individual over here, Cobb County Sheriff's Office employee, is facing charges of child molestation. What a real piece of shit over here. All right, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Take a good look at your screen. We're learning this morning, this former man on your screen, he's a longtime employee for the Cobb County Sheriff's Office. Well, this morning he's off the job facing charges for aggravated child molestation. Ivan Munoz was the department for 25 years as a criminal justice specialist. Fox 5 Atlanta's Brooke Zahner joining us live this morning from the Cobb County Detention Center with more on the accusations that led to this arrest. Brooke, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Gina. And when the Cobb County Sheriff found out about this investigation and the charges that went along with it, he says that he fired this individual immediately.
Okay, and you never know, who's, living next door.
A shocking arrest in Marietta this week. Police say 44-year-old Ivan Munoz, a criminal justice specialist with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, is behind bars without bond.
It is an ultimate irony that that individual went from being a 20-plus year employee to now being housed there as an inmate being held without bond.
Marietta police say the 44-year-old was arrested late Tuesday night after a young girl told members of her church that she had been molested twice over the weekend. According to the arrest warrant, Munoz is accused of sexually assaulting an 8-year-old victim multiple times on April 11th at a home in Marietta.
Took advantage of that relationship and victimized this young 8-year-old female.
There's not words to explain, but it's just people that you know for years. His kids used to come over and just play with my nephews, play outside.
Cobb County Sheriff Craig Owens says after being briefed on the investigation and the charges, Munoz was immediately fired. In a statement, the sheriff said these are particularly egregious charges and his behavior goes against everything we stand for in law enforcement. Now, Munoz is facing 2 counts of aggravated child molestation. He is currently being held here at the Cobb County Detention Center without bail. That's the latest here live in Cobb County. I'm Brooke Zahner reporting for Live Now from Fox.
Brooke, thank you so much for joining our show to keep the viewers informed. And really quickly, I want to ask you, I know with these type of investigations, many times the Sheriff's Department and officials, they will urge people to reach out if they have also been a victim in case this wasn't a one-time isolated incident. Is that the same with this case right here?
To my knowledge, it would be. We didn't really get a lot of details about them, but of course, you know, when it comes to law enforcement, if you see something, say something, or if you know something might be going on, to certainly come forward.
All right. Always Stella reporting. Brooke Zahner there with Fox 5 Atlanta. Thank you so much, Brooke. Have a great rest.
What a terrible person. How could you prey on an 8-year-old? Like, how could you do that? Especially being a cop. And he's not like a rookie cop. He's been a cop forever. And he's just like, yeah, let's prey on this 8-year-old. What? I don't know. I think that they should be looking at the death penalty for this individual. I don't see any way around it. People like that don't change. And it makes me wonder, who else has been victimized by this person? I doubt he made it to being 50 years old or however old he is, being a cop for decades. And all of a sudden, this is his first victim? I highly doubt it. This guy puts humans in cages for a living. So I bet there's other victims out there. That is a terrible story. Next up, exclusive look inside the Cartel hot zone. They're hanging out on an island that's near the Panama Canal. No, maybe it's not the Panama Canal. I don't know. Whatever the southern border river is, whatever that is. There's islands on it, which I didn't realize that. The islands are our territory, I guess. And we have some shack with Cartel logos on it. Cartel members sitting there watching our border patrol, monitoring their shift change, things like that. They believe they use it as a hot spot for human trafficking, drug dealing, drug trafficking, things like that. And they just monitor the border patrol. And on the shift change, they might be throwing things over the wall or whatever. But either way, it's a little too close for comfort. What I don't understand is, why do we let them be there? Why don't we just glass that area? We don't have to glass it, but just bulldoze the area and then occupy it so they can't, or something along those lines. Why allow them to do? I don't understand why we allow Cartel, which is terrorist, to do anything. Why allow them to do anything? Why treat them like people at all? I just don't get that. But either way, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this shitty cop that preyed on an 8-year-old. Sam, he probably got away with that behavior for years. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is Jay Spray? I don't know what you're saying, Jay Spray. Russell, yeah, he won't last long in prison. Fry him. Yeah, no. As soon as he gets to prison, they're going to be tuning him up. Sam, the Democrats. Yeah, it's the Democrats. Top 4 heroes in America are a murderer named Luigi, a murderer named Carmelo, a MS-13 gang member, a Palestinian Hamas supporter. Yeah, you're right, Sam. They're a bunch of losers. Oh my God, my internet. I'm just struggling today, man. I was all set to have a good day. It's just the outside forces attacking me. Pumpkin, Mexico would cry if we killed their cartel. I believe you're right. The Rio Grande. Thank you, Tree Herder. I'm an idiot. Yes, the Rio Grande. Screaming Eagle, he'll be protected in prison. He'll be in a unit with like-minded sickos. Untouchable. It could be. It could be. They should put him right in General Pop. Yeah, Free Thinker Texan, absolutely. Ghostly, he looks guilty, but I hate the media so much I don't trust it. Yeah, I don't believe that this is the first time that he's done this. There's just no way. I just don't believe it. I wonder if there's been people covering up for him this whole time and eventually enough was enough and they just let him get caught this time. Sage Pup, the cop's getting diddled right now. Getting what he deserves. Yep. Pumpkin, that'd be embarrassing for the whole town. Yeah, that is a terrible story. Pumpkin, there are other kids there. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Zero, General Pop, he'd get smoked and save the taxpayers money. Yeah. Tori Wayne, it works now. Thank you for letting me know, Tori Wayne. It had 2 addresses on there and one was wrong, and that was the one that was selected. So thank you for bringing it up. What's up, Johnny? Happy freedom to you. Damon Walker, think about the girls that he pulled over, then offered them the ultimate sucker to go to jail. Yeah, ultimatum. Yeah, that's what I mean, Damon Walker. When you're in a position of power like that, it's a lot of responsibility, and he's abusing his power. And I highly doubt that he just risked it all for an 8-year-old. I think he's been doing this, and he just finally got caught. I'd really like to be a cop, but I don't want to deal with the politics. I'd be putting people in jail, and they'd be like, well, you're not supposed to because of these soft and stupid reasons. I'd be like, that's cool. You let them out then, because I'm not going to. What's up, Mr. Dog? Happy freedom. Mr. Dog, you mess with the kids, you lose your human card. That's right. That is absolutely right. I think you should lose your constitutional rights. You mess with a kid, you lose your constitutional rights, and if people tune you up, you're not even considered a person anymore. So no crime has been committed. I think that's the same thing with like the lifetime registered sex offenders, the CSE offenders. I think that should be a green light zone. Somebody breaks in your house, steals your shit, good. They whoop your ass every day, good. You get beat up and mistreated at work, good. Good. It's too bad. Shouldn't have became a sex offender. Like, I think it should, like, there's no accountability here. I hate it. We need accountability. Everybody wants to live in a good world, but nobody wants to be a good person. And I don't get that. I do not get that. I mean, all of us get mad. All of us get tempted by, one thing or another. We always, every day, every moment you're alive, you are fed choices. You can make good choices or bad choices every single step of the way. Ain't nobody telling you one way or another once you're out of mama's house. So, like, man, people need to have integrity, and they don't. And it drives me crazy. Because I get mad, more mad than anybody else I know. But I'm not out here breaking into houses and breaking into cars, stealing cars, hurting people. I'm not doing that stuff. It's called self-control. It's called I'd like to come home tonight. And it's like other people, they don't use their damn brain. I don't know if COVID killed common sense or what happened, but it is annoying seeing these people get away with everything. So at least this sheriff got caught. 8-year-old's still going to have to live with that trauma for the rest of their life. So, I mean, hopefully we get some real accountability. Being arrested is a good start. I want to see this cop get convicted, get sentenced, and actually do some time, do a lot of time. That's some real accountability. But like we've been saying, the real examples are supposed to be the politicians. Well, when are they going to be held accountable? We got Democrat elected officials right now pretty much putting a green light on Elon and stuff. Then they want to turn around and wonder why everybody's keying Teslas or setting the dealerships on fire or making TikTok videos making threats against the president or Elon. Democrats are like, oh, I don't know why that's happening. What do you mean? All you do is rally and talk shit about these people saying they're a threat to democracy. And you want to wonder why we got violence in the streets? Like, come on, man. I don't think Democrats have to worry about it because they ain't got shit to steal. They ain't got shit to burn. Everything they got for free. So they don't have to worry about the crime and stuff. They're a part of it. So I don't know. It's just the circle of life out here. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this next video. Like I said, exclusive look inside the cartel hot zone. Let's get this pulled up real quick. All right, hooligans, hit that like button and grab the link for whatever platform you are currently watching and share it out on your social media. That way we can tell everybody, come hang out with the hooligans.
An exclusive look now into the cartel and their control, not just in Mexico, but right here on American soil. News Nation getting an exclusive tour of what Border Patrol calls cartel territory in Roma, Texas, which is a small town that sits right across the U.S.-Mexico border. We captured the moment cartel traffickers confronted our News Nation team inside a zone that's become the flashpoint of an evolving turf war as the American government fights to reclaim control. And border correspondent Allie Bradley was on the scene for that exclusive access. So, Allie, tell us what happened when you came across those cartel traffickers.
Yeah, hey, Nicole. So we were out with the Border Patrol on an exclusive ride along here in the Rio Grande Valley sector, specifically right where we're standing in Roma, Texas here. And this is an area that they say that the cartel controls all the illegal activity. They're controlling what and where things cross every single day. And we were essentially in their way yesterday. We were on their turf while we were down there on the boat. So take a look here at what happened and what we experienced down on the water yesterday while we were on this ride along. Suspected cartel members, they began throwing rocks at us as soon as we pulled up near what Border Patrol says is a known smuggling location. This is a scout house. It has the writing CDG, or Cartel del Golfo, aka the Gulf Cartel, which was designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the Trump administration. You can see their letters spray painted in black right there on the outside. A wave of people, a surge of people ran to the riverbanks in a very aggressive posture. Take a listen to what Border Patrol had to say about the incident.
It is something that we have seen in this area, and a rock is considered a deadly weapon.
Everybody knows about the Gulf Cartel. That in itself lets you know the location that we're at, how we have to be a little more vigilant in those areas. It can be something, them trying to do, you know, a scare tactic on us, right? Something to show their presence, that they're there. And obviously they've come out of that house that has that lettering on it.
So Agent Smallwood goes on to tell us that they are seeing an increase in cartel activity when it comes to narcotics like fentanyl being smuggled both between the ports in these areas and also at the ports, because those cartel members are not able to make the money that they were making by moving thousands of people into the United States illegally. And the reason that that CDG scout house, we're showing you this live here back on camera, is in kind of the perfect location is because they're able to move drugs and humans very easily right there to that island, which is actually U.S. territory, but it's kind of an area that they cross the river. They'll hide out there until they know that the Border Patrol is gone. They have scouts everywhere that are watching. They send up drones, Nicole, to see when the area is clear, and that is when they will move their product or their people into the United States illegally.
All right,
Nicole?
so we know that this is happening. Allie, what are Texas authorities doing to try to clear out the cartel?
Yeah, so we know that the Texas Land Commissioner, Dawn Buckingham, she actually has isolated 2 different islands in this area that they say are Texas and U.S. territory that they want to clear off. So take a look here at those islands, some images that we have of those areas. They're pretty big swaths of land, too, several acres that this land covers. Now, this is an area that, again, belongs to Texas and the U.S., that they are being referred to as a smuggler's paradise after Texas military alerted Dawn Buckingham, the land commissioner, that these islands were, quote, being used by cartels for smuggling operation and as stash sites for weapons and other illicit activities. That was an email that we saw, that we obtained, that was sent to Dawn Buckingham. Now, Agent Smallwood tells us that they believe every island out here, including the one behind me, should be cleared off if it's feasible, as it would give the United States and Border Patrol more visibility and take away the cartel's tactical advantage. Like, check out this. This is what they did on Fronton Island, which was better known as Cartel Island. This is where cartel members were regularly spotted with rifles, as you can see right there, pointing their weapons up at drones at law enforcement. Now, under the state's Operation Flat Top, it was cleared off and activity out there plummeted. We were actually the first media, you're taking a look here at our video, we are the first media to go out with Border Patrol to this area where Border Patrol agents took on fire from the cartels back in January. It was an ominous feeling out there yesterday because you felt like you were being watched, and that is the reality. There's scout shacks out there. We want to show you that, these surveillance points where cartel members are actually launching drones. It's a counter surveillance tactic that Smallwood tells us is happening every single day, Nicole, so that they can have the tactical advantage. They're constantly out there watching Border Patrol. They know their shift changes. They know what they're doing. Right now, activity has plummeted, but the activity they are seeing are the ones that are trying to get away. Nicole.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.
Okay, like I said, cartel's got a little shack on an island there. Now, supposedly we control those islands. So I don't know why we got news out here crying about human trafficking and drug smuggling and stuff about the cartel being on the island that we control. Why even allow that to be a thing? Why not just go over there and clear all that out? Just bulldoze the whole island. If anybody sets foot on it, you'll be able to see it from the wall. So I don't know. It seems like an easy fix there, but maybe they do it to learn. Maybe they do it to monitor the cartel. The cartel's obviously monitoring the Border Patrol. Maybe the Border Patrol is keeping an eye on the cartel. Maybe keeping track of who goes to the shack, who leaves the shack, how much they bring there, who they bring there, how they move, things they do. Maybe they can hear them. Maybe they can use gear to be able to hear what's happening inside the walls of that shack. Maybe they're gathering info. Maybe that's what they're using it for. Maybe it's an easier way to gather data than it is a threat against us. Maybe that's what it is, because otherwise I have no idea why they allow this to happen. They got their little swing set there. Cartel shows up telling everybody to go away as if they run things. I don't know. That's the only like logical thing that could make sense, is they're using it to gather data, because otherwise why are they allowing that to happen? It just doesn't make sense to me. Either way, next up we got Maine school district exempt from federal lawsuit after school board directs policy change. Now, we saw the governor of Maine and President Trump mix it up during a governor dinner a few months ago. I think we covered it live. She was telling President Trump, "Oh, we'll see you in court," because he was saying you better comply with no dudes in women's sports or else you're going to lose all your federal funding. And she was like, "Oh, I'll see you in court." He was like, "Good. I will see you in court." So now the federal government is suing Maine because of that. Now, this specific district, they're doing the best they can to follow federal law. Pam Bondi found out about it. We heard a little bit about this yesterday while we were waiting for the press briefing. Right Side Broadcasting was playing a replay that we were covering, waiting for Caroline Levitt to come out with that mother that her daughter was a victim of a border crosser. We heard that tragic story yesterday. But like I said, this district here in Maine is doing what they can to follow federal law, and they've made it so they are exempt from this lawsuit that's coming up. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this cartel hot zone. What's up, Mag Daddy? Happy Freedom. It's all about the money. All this could be taken care of really easily. Yeah, it's definitely about the money. Zero, the vegetation is what's keeping those islands from washing away. Yeah, I could see that. Russell, an AC-130 gunship would fix this problem. Yeah. There's a lot of things that could fix this problem. Russell, bulldoze the house, no more shelter. Yeah, I mean, it's that easy. Guess I'm uncool with collateral damage. You crack me up. Elder Zoomer, yeah. I mean, it seems like we all got ideas that could fix this problem. I don't know what they're doing at the border there. Appeal to heaven, pray for the families of the shooting at FSU today. Absolutely. We covered that earlier. Free the Texan, they probably got it all bugged all to hell. Yeah, probably. Era 16, the Cartel Shack is a little old place where we invade America. Yeah, it's not quite the Love Shack. It might be, you never know. Free the Texan, Mexican? No, I'm not Mexican. What? Are you asking me if I'm Mexican? Somebody said I was Russian or something a couple months ago. No, I'm just me. I'm just a hooligan. Elder Zoomer, can we just airstrike the drug cartels already? Yeah, whenever Trump's ready. They declared them terrorists. We know how terrorists get treated in Iraq and shit like that. We've all seen the videos. Some of us hooligans were even there. So, yeah, I don't know when we're going to start doing anything to the cartels. Ghostly, that ICE agent was muy caliente. Yes. She's a little spicy. Bill Clay, you could be a cop with Klaus as your partner. That's right. We're going to do ride-alongs. What's up, Marsh? Happy freedom to you. Too old to care. Not the breathalyzer again. Unzips pants. That's terrible. That's terrible. J Spray, we should all run for government positions. We could fix this shit. Absolutely. They're worried about MAGA. They haven't even seen hooligans yet. Meta, do something about this. They need to set up out there. Yeah. Like I said, the only thing that makes sense is that they're using it to collect data. Otherwise, I don't know why they're letting the Cartel Shack roll. It just doesn't make sense. Thank you so much, Stern, for continuing the membership program over on Twitch for 19 months. You're officially a hooligan. I appreciate you, Stern. Thank you so much. Awesome. Doing, Cat Daniels? You gonna come to work today? He's like, I'm trying to eat. Don't talk to me while I'm eating. What's up, Tommy Two Guns? Happy freedom to you. Johnny, Trump is always giving everyone the chance to do the right thing, then boom, it's over. Yep. Well, we'll see. I highly doubt the cartel's going to start doing good things, but you never know. Little Ripper, here in Ohio, we have a rhino governor. Vivek is running against him. Yeah, I heard that. Midterms is going to be interesting. We'll be covering that as well, just like we did the primaries. What's up, Tube Steak? Happy freedom. What's up, Heaven Mag? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Trisha Khajiit? Happy freedom. Why do we allow this to exist? Absolutely. There's no answer for that. I don't know why we're dead on X. I don't know what's going on. Where's Wayward at? Can you guys hear Klaus Daniels crunching? Yeah, chew with your mouth closed. Maybe I'm not raising my cat right. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this next one. Maine school, not Maine Coon, Maine school district exempt from federal lawsuit after school board directs policy change. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick to go check out the Only Hooligan shop for cool custom hooligan items. The shop was created by Alistair, as well as everything in it. This is our effort to get away from third-party systems. That way we can create the merch and items we want. We can control quality, we can control prices, we can control shipping times and all that kind of stuff. So definitely go check out the Only Hooligan shop. We'll be adding more stuff in there soon. Me and Alistair are so damn busy, we keep missing each other. But we will be adding things in there soon. I also got to double check on the chip clips and all of that, because I know you hooligans are hungry for chip clips. But definitely go check out the Only Hooligan shop. Let's get into this. Like I said, Maine School District is trying to do their best to follow federal law while the state of Maine is too busy beefing with President Trump. Hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
And the community wanted to make sure that we were doing what we were supposed to be doing when it came to how we conduct our spaces in school, how we run our athletic programs.
Superintendent Tyler Putnam says parents in his northern Maine district, which covers 7 towns near the Canadian border, have been pushing the district to comply with the president's orders on Title IX for months. At the direction of the school board, he'll now re-examine the district's policies and make changes that line up with federal guidance. It likely means the district will only recognize 2 sexes, male and female, and that sports teams and private spaces will be separated by sex.
I think that was very brave and bold of that school board.
Even though the policy isn't finalized, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that MSAD 70 will not be subject to the DOJ lawsuit brought against the rest of the state.
We will not be going after them, looking at them in this lawsuit because they are complying and they're protecting women in women's sports.
And while Superintendent Putnam says it's a huge relief to hear that his district's federal funding is safe, he has other concerns. Are you worried that a policy change that lines up with the Trump administration's demands takes you out of compliance with Maine law and the Maine Human Rights Act?
Yeah, I'm always worried. No, I am, because that's the part of us being caught in the middle.
I asked the Maine Attorney General's office if this policy violates state law, and a spokesperson responded, quote, "Your question requires a legal analysis that I cannot provide."
All right, hold on a second. I had to turn the volume all up because they wanted to whisper that story there. There you go. All right, Klaus Daniels, made it to work today. What are you looking at? Oh, it's the first stink bug of the year, unless it's a giant spider, and if it is, we're going to burn the house down. You keep an eye on that terrorist over there, Mr. Klaus Daniels. Look at you, you good boy. Yes, good boy. All right, anyways. So this school district is going to be exempt from facing this lawsuit with Pam Bondi and all of them because they're coming after the state of Maine for not complying with federal law. Everyone except for these guys, they're totally fine with kicking dudes out of women's sports. I mean, it should be a no-brainer, but, some people, they're having a difficult time with this. Next up, Harvard students protest after DHS threatens to revoke international student visas. They're going to take away Harvard's ability to have international students because Harvard wants to suck ass and not comply with federal laws, just like Maine. It's coming up next, but first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this Maine school district trying to do the right thing while the state of Maine is facing a lawsuit from the federal government. Russell, look, people, men are different from women and vice versa. I know, they're not going to be happy till everyone's walking around with their wieners out. Russell, I need chip clips. I know, we're working on it. Guess so. Klaus needs to do some crunches, damn fat ass cat. Yeah, he's pretty beefy. He's pretty beefy. Brian, does anyone actually use rocket scientist as a professional title? I mean, like, legitimately? Probably not, but, it looks good on your resume. Told to care Klaus is looking at Jeff's head funny. No, he's looking at this giant stink bug. It's humongous. He's monitoring it. He thinks it's communism trying to infiltrate the house. There's a Klaus in the house. No, Snooks, we're not making nip clips, just chip clips. Holy. Joel to care, no tariffs on the hooligan shop. That's right. It's all made in America. Jesus loves the Screaming Eagle. Hey, thank you for being here, Meta. Have a good evening. What's up, John Galt? Happy freedom to you. Rumble's glitchy. Are you on the app? I've only seen the app glitch. I've never seen the website glitch. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I've just never seen it. Damon Walker. After women fight for their rights, Obama destroyed them, and Biden kept pushing it This is ridiculous for America. Absolutely. What's up, Kathy? Happy Freedom. Etiquette class? No, Klaus doesn't need an etiquette class. He's a good boy. Somebody suggested that I watch or read Atlas Shrugged, and I watched the trailer for that yesterday, and it looks very interesting. Have you hooligans ever seen Atlas Shrugged? It was kind of eye-opening for me because we've been running Discord for more than 5 years at this point. Maybe it's just under 5 years at this point. But there was always this individual walking around named John Galt. We got a John Galt in the chat right now, but I don't think it's the same John Galt. And they were walking that line on breaking the rules every damn day. They were constantly stirring the pot. Then they left. And then someone came back as Atlas. And Atlas was around until they proclaimed that they were a white nationalist. And then they had to be removed because I don't condone that kind of bullshit. So watching the trailer for Atlas Shrugged, apparently there's like a group in the movie that's called John Galt, and they say throughout the trailer, who is John Galt? And then I realized that this is like a whole thing that people know about. It's not just some asshole invading my Discord over and over again. No, this is something more. And now we got a John Galt in the chat, and it totally just reminded me of this. I cannot remember who told me to watch Atlas Shrugged, but I'm in even more inclined to watch it at this point. It's a Wayward. Happy Freedom to you. I was just looking for you. Cyril Klaus is focused. Yeah. He's about to go put on his tactical gear for the stink bug. He's moving towards me, so he's about to be like, "Get down, Mr. President." I'm gonna stand up from the stink bug. Fight, fight, fight. It's gonna be crazy. Look at Cat Daniels. When he jumps on my shoulders to get this damn stink bug, that's when we're going to have problems. Elder Zoomer, you've heard it but never seen it. I've never seen it, but somebody told me to watch it. I think it was yesterday. Winston, has anyone come across more info on 4chan hacked by Soy Jack Party on the 14th? Still down. I heard that 4chan is gone. That it is gone. That they were hacked and everything was removed. And it's just gone now. I don't know. I've never been on 4chan. I've been told about it by you hooligans for years. But I heard that it is gone. That it is not coming back. But I mean, who knows? No. You sit your ass down. I don't know what you're doing. You need to sit down. We ain't got time for all of this. Damon Walker will enlighten you. It's it's a series? I thought it was a movie. Damon Walker, it's about a corporate and government control and how they stay in charge of the masses. That's what I was thinking. It kind of looked like almost like a V for Vendetta kind of movie, where like based around conspiracy and stuff. Wayward, your dog likes stink bugs. I don't know what's so appealing about them, but yeah. Klaus Daniels, you better sit your ass down. I'm having enough problems with the internet. I don't need you terrorizing anything either. Anyways, let's get into this next video here. Like I said, Harvard students protest after DHS threatens to revoke international student visas. They're trying to make it so Harvard can't bring in international students anymore, which, so what? Because they can't control the students they got. Either way, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
Also breaking, Harvard students are protesting after the Trump administration threatened to revoke the school's ability to enroll international students. Our Christina Rex is live in Cambridge, near the spot where those demonstrators plan to gather. Christina?
Good morning, Chris. Well, this protest is focused on international students, as you mentioned. This is part of the standoff that just keeps heating up between Harvard and the Trump administration. The Department of Homeland Security is now threatening to revoke international student visas. So let's take a look at some live Sky Eye video overhead right now. You can see that students here are starting to gather on the steps of the Widener Library. The flyer for this protest said, "Stand up for internationals," saying, quote, "We have to fight." The Trump administration has been in a battle with the country's top universities, threatening to revoke funding if the colleges did not comply with a list of demands, including stopping DEI programs and limiting campus protests like this one. Harvard is the first major university to openly defy these demands, and in return, the Trump administration froze $2 billion in federal funding. Now, back out here live, DHS is now threatening to revoke student visas if Harvard doesn't send detailed records on any foreign students' quote, illegal and violent activities to the federal government by the end of this month. So we will keep tabs on this protest, anything going on with it, both on air and online, and bring you all these updates as they come along. For now, live in Cambridge, Christina Rex, WBZ News.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes. If they want to lose their federal funding, more power to them. They got tons of money. They got tons of money at Harvard. They're not worried about losing federal funding. Losing their international students, well, that might affect them. That could be where they get a lot of their donations from. God only knows. Of course, we'll probably have follow-ups with this. We've been constantly staying up to date with these Ivy League schools because they're all creating these pro-Hamas protesters and other lunatics out here protesting for really no reason at all, just to do it for the sake of doing it, I guess. But either way, next up we got couple videos from earlier today. We play both these videos. We'll play them back to back. They're short. First one's titled President Trump meets with Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, and then the second video is titled Russia and Ukraine minerals deal being signed next Thursday. Like I said, we'll play both those videos back to back. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Harvard potentially losing their international student visas. Jay Spray, oh, you won't find my rich parents fund. Yeah, exactly. Sam, Harvard still needs money. It could be the end of them to support terrorism ideology in the USA. Well, they signed up for it. They lose all their money and they can't afford to, indoctrinate any more students. Well, that might be too bad. Russell, looking forward to Voice Chat Friday? Me too. There was something I was supposed to remind everybody. I can't remember. There was something we talked about earlier this week that we were supposed to bring up in Voice Chat. Now I can't remember. Astrohammer, Astro Mama just asked me, what kind of tea do babies drink? Tit teas. Love that. Everybody loves a little tea in their life. I'm just saying. Sam, Title VI clearly states what says no discrimination. Absolutely. Some tit teas. I love that. Sam, Atlas Shrugged refers to the notion that all the productive people, those who think, could be persuaded to go on strike. The world would fall apart because non-productive, non-thinking would not be able to run the world and keep it running. It's true. It's kind of like if we all stopped paying taxes, everything would come to a halt. We're the ones that keep the world running, not the politicians. They just sit there on TV and bark at us. Pumpkin, Harvard will cave? Absolutely. Era 16, Harvard, because rich people need lawyers also. Appeal to heaven, I couldn't go to Harvard, so good luck, rich people. Yeah, exactly. Friedrich Texan Atlas Shrugged has a terrible rating. Do you think it's because the movie actually sucks? Or is it like intentionally, like people just don't like it? Like lefties don't like what's being said, or one of those kind of situations. Winston, the author, I don't know how to say that name. Ayn Rand also wrote The Fountainhead and Anthem. Interesting. Snooks, it's a series and a DVD. I think somebody else said it's a book too. Winston, Atlas Shrugged is a great book. It's tough to read. It took me years. Well, I'm not going to try and read it. I'm not the strongest reader out here. I've been trying to get through The Art of the Deal by President Trump. And I have the audiobook and I have the regular book. I think Zero sent me the book. And I was listening to the audiobook. It's like 9 hours long. I've listened to like maybe an hour and a half of it. It's interesting. It is very interesting. It's almost like they should make a movie out of The Art of the Deal and then have Trump play Trump. Like they totally should. It's like reading Trump's diary. That's the best way to explain it. Reading The Art of the Deal is like reading Trump's diary. Like you just, the way it's worded, the premeditation going into situations. Like in the book, it reads, it's like American Psycho, honestly. It's like narrating his actions. And it's like, at this time, I need to go meet this guy. This guy is this type of person. So when I meet him, I'll have to behave this kind of way in order to get on his good side because I need him to agree to this deal. He's made these deals in the past. This is the style of deal I'm trying to get now. If I can tug on his heartstrings by mentioning these phrases, he'll be more inclined to agree to the deal. And then it's like, well, it's 10 o'clock. Time to make a deal. Like it is wrote just like that. And it's crazy because like you can hear it in Trump's voice and stuff. And it's pretty badass, honestly. Snooks, it's a hard movie to watch. Lots of depth. Yeah, I figured. The trailer was like that. I'll play remind me in the voice chat tomorrow, and I'll play the Atlas Shrugged trailer while we're in the voice chat, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. For everybody, it's on the website. What's up, Ball? Happy freedom to you. Damon Walker, my theory about Atlas Shrugged is that the Democrat Party tried to destroy America from underneath. They sold their jobs away to foreign countries, but that's my opinion. I lived it. I mean, it could be Damon Walker. You never know. Damon Walker, I find it a very interesting series. It's a 3-part series. I'll have to look into it. Lil Ripper, they got it on Tubi. Oh, I'll have to watch it on Tubi. I watch Tubi all the time. If you got Brave browser and you watch Tubi, or if you go to southpark.com, there's no commercials. Claus Daniels, you over here studying the stink bug? You let me know what you find out. There's an interrogation going on over here. Zero, just another reason to join the website. Absolutely. I was working pretty late last night on the website. I'm trying to create a way to bring in news feeds that drop right into Hooligans Alley automatically as the news breaks. And it'll be all over. It'll be propaganda news. It'll be real news. It'll be all the news that I can find. But I have to write code and stuff to make it work the way I need it to. It'll probably be another week or so before I get it going. But we're going to be improving Hooligans Alley pretty soon. Russell, I got to look that up before I can say that out loud. I don't want to say anything that I shouldn't say out loud. All right, Hooligans, we're going to get into this next one. Like I said, we're going to play these videos back to back. This is from earlier today. First one's titled President Trump Meets with Prime Minister Meloni of Italy. Second one's titled Russia and Ukraine Minerals Deal is being signed next Thursday. So let's get this pulled up real quick. Like I said, this first one's titled President Trump Meets with Prime Minister Meloni of Italy.
It's an honor to have the Prime Minister of Italy with us, Prime Minister Meloni, who's doing a fantastic job. I would say that she has taken Europe by storm and highly respected. Everybody loves her and respects her, and I can't say that about many people. And she's become a friend, and we really have a great relationship between Italy and ourselves. And we talked about trade, we talked about many, many things during our luncheon, and she'll be saying a few words, but she's a very special person, and it's nice to have you with us. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have the Prime Minister.
All right, so President Trump meeting with the Prime Minister of Italy, Meloni. That was from earlier today. Seems like things are going well. He did take questions for like 35 minutes. If I could have covered it live, I would have. It's a little bit too much to watch all 30 minutes of questioning. Most of it was stuff we've already heard. But this right here is another clip from earlier today. This is titled Russia and Ukraine Minerals Deal Being Signed Next Thursday.
Well, we have a minerals deal, which I guess is going to be signed on Thursday, Scott, next Thursday, soon. And I assume they're going to live up to the deal, so we'll see. But we have a deal on that. No, I have no comment on that. I have no idea. That's his statement, not mine.
All right, so I'm not sure what the statement was that the reporter had asked about. But either way, it sounds like we got a peace deal in the works here, at least a minerals deal. Now, we covered that they were supposed to have a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. Then we had a story come out where Russia had hit Ukraine, and I think it was right after Ukraine had also hit Russia. I think that they hit something that belonged to Putin. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was a vehicle or a house or it was something. And then there was retaliation. I thought maybe that was going to break their ceasefire, but apparently not, because now we got a mineral deal on the table a week from today. We'll see how that goes. Of course, we will be covering that when it happens. Next up, we got a three video deal here. We're going to play back to back. All of it has to do with Carmelo Anthony, which is the stabber kid from the track meet stabbing that happened. Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart and killed him, and then turned around and claimed that it was self-defense. Now he's being treated like a celebrity. They're going to try and say that all these claims that they got money for a new house and a new car, they're going to say that's nonsense. Although, now that you see this kid, he's wearing suits every day and stuff. I mean, he went from looking like a gangbanger to now he's wearing suits, but supposedly they didn't get any money out of this stuff. I think it's all nonsense. But like I said, we got 3 videos. First one's titled Next Generation Action Network, which I don't know what the hell that is. Live streamers or something, I suppose. But they called the cops on the father of Austin, the victim, after he showed up to listen to Carmelo Anthony's press conference. Then the second video's titled Carmelo Anthony Presser starts off by attacking Austin's father, saying it's disrespectful for him to even be here. Then the third video's titled Carmelo Anthony's mother says his family has been under attack and that her daughter has been afraid to sleep in her own bed and that her husband's mental health is deteriorating day by day. Oh no, these poor murderous family. It's all coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about President Trump meeting with Prime Minister Meloni earlier today. Russell. Is that a naughty Prime Minister? Mm-hmm. Look at this. Guess some's cat has a message for Klaus. You even lift, bro? Look at the abs, cat abs there. Very nice. Klaus, he don't be lifting. He lifts his body off the floor to walk to the food bowl. That's about it. Guess his mom was a former stripper. Well, I'm glad she quit because she ain't much to look at. Damn, I didn't have to smoke her like that, but I did. Yeah, it's all right. We'll leave the rest for Free Speech Saturday. Shroomish, taking someone's life ain't easy. Yeah, I guess. He's getting paid well for it. What's up, Faded? Happy freedom to you. Pumpkin playing the victim card. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Their kid kills another kid. These guys are the victims. Like, okay. Pumpkin, they make nice gold jewelry in Italy. Yeah, they make good silver jewelry, too. A lot of times you'll see the 925 in Italy stamped. Free the Texan Prime Minister Bologna. Little baloney. It goes a long way. Winston, Atlas Shrugged book or movie is hated by the left. The author is very anti-Marxist, pro-capitalist, and very big on individualism and intellectual property rights. Interesting. Thanks for letting me know, Winston. You guys are talking me into watching it. I'll see if I can watch it today. Mike T, turning things inside out for profit. That's what prostitutes do. Okay, never mind. We're getting near the end of the show. Starting to get a little less serious here. My feed. I still say, how did he know to do a fatal kill? I think it was accidental. I think it's just because he was sitting down and Austin was standing up and leaned down to grab him, and when he leaned down, he exposed his center mass. And I think if you're gonna stab somebody, you're gonna hit him right in here. And I think it was just coincidental, but I mean, who knows? Yeah, Jay Spread, that's basically what they're saying. Zero, I wonder what changed for us to get a mineral deal. Yeah, I don't know. Stuff happened in the background, I suppose. Happy Freedom, Viola. What's up, Southern Eagleman? Happy Freedom to you. Stern, she came from Russia. Who did? The stabber's mom? What's up, Vinny C? Happy Freedom to you. Steve S, where's Bondi on this murderer? Nah, I don't know. I don't think she's actually spoke about it. Gotta keep an eye on Klaus. This damn stink bugs near all the internet stuff. What's up, Muskie Boss? Happy Freedom. Watching Canada Fed debate? That's interesting. Alright, hooligans. We'll play these videos back to back. Like I said, they're not too terribly long. Let's get these pulled up really quick. All three of these videos, like I said, are about Carmelo Anthony, which is the track meet stabbing individual. The other kid's dead, so, there's that. We'll be starting out with this first of three. It's titled Next Generation Action Network. Called the cops on the father of Austin Matt Calf, that's the victim, after he showed up to listen to Carmelo Anthony's press conference. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommiTube, and let's get into this. Okay, so the individual right there, the white dude, light blue shirt with a cast on his arm, that is the victim's dad. Obviously, he is being escorted out of the building because somebody called the police and said, oh, he can't be here for this public presser, which is a bunch of nonsense. Now we're getting into the second video here. Like I said, this is titled Carmelo Anthony's Presser. Starts off by attacking Austin's dad, saying it's disrespectful for him to be coming here.
And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting non-stop about this case. Come on, and man. All I'm going to say.
Okay, so the victim's dad showed up because he's racist. And that's all he's got to say. All right, getting on the third video here. That's his mamadillo there. It's titled, Carmelo Anthony's mother says family has been under attack, that her daughter has been afraid to sleep in her own bed, and that her husband's mental health is deteriorating day by day.
In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Carmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution, we believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
I don't know how they raise a kid that murders another kid and then they go out there and talk about how they're victims. Like, I don't get that at all. They should have kept their ass in the house. And that's what I don't understand. This is an ongoing investigation. They are about to go to court. They haven't gone to court yet. Why are they making public announcements? Like, obviously, they're trying to make a couple bucks here and there. That's that goes without saying. But generally, when you get legal counsel, they tell you to shut the hell up until you get to court. Don't make public statements. Don't even post on social media. Shut the hell up and stay inside your house. You do not want to affect how the public sees you, because if you have to go to trial, that could affect trial, right? It could cause them to have difficulty finding a jury and so on and so forth. And maybe they're doing it strategically for those purposes, but I think they're making themselves look worse. I think it was already bad enough when people were speculating for them to go out there and be like, well, we're really the victims. Yeah, you had the father of the victim, the father who now has a murdered child, escorted out of the building by the Dallas police. Like, you guys are not the victims. You guys are pieces of shit. That's the reality of this situation. It's super crazy that they're on TV crying and all that, and wiping her tears while she's talking. What, her hands don't work? You couldn't hand her a napkin to wipe her own damn face? Like, I don't understand that. Is that at play into the tears, the tugging on the... Oh, man. The Urkel in the background had to wipe the tears off her face because she was just so distraught because her son's a murderer and he deserves to go to prison for the rest of his life. Like, I don't... So stupid. I know if I was to go out there and stab somebody in the chest, not only would I not get a presser, they'd never let me out of jail. I would just be in jail until I went to court, and then I would stay in jail. I'd go to prison. But no, this guy, oh no, it's time for mom to go on TV and cry about how mean the world is because everyone's acknowledging that her son is a murderer. I'm sorry that this family is fucking delusional, but I hope to God justice is served once they get to court. I want to see them crying because they're never going to see their son again. Not because they're making $500,000 off stabbing some other child. That's wrong. Anyways, next up we got the last little bit of the news. It's titled Lefties Losing It. Of course, the title on this one is New York Attorney General who targeted Trump is now accused of fraud. We know about that. We were covering that yesterday. Oh, Letitia James. She's been acting like Jasmine Crockett. It's not going to help her case. I bet they play that video, actually. But either way, we're going to lighten the mood. We got Lefties Losing It coming up next. And after that, we got the fun stuff. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Carmelo Anthony's entire family being a just big old ball of dog shit. Josh 1776, Luigi didn't get bail. Yeah, that kind of surprises me. It doesn't surprise me. I kind of feel like if Luigi got out on bail, he'd be attacked. But we'll see how it goes. Sam, they're going to riot if he goes to jail? Maybe. They might. They're trying to make him look like the victim. I still think Mahmoud Khalil is the new George Floyd. It might be Carmelo Anthony. There's a lot of people saying that, but I still think it's going to be Mahmoud Khalil. Black Lives Matter hasn't been around for a while because they all turned into pro-Hamas protesters. They always say Palestine. Well, Mahmoud Khalil is from Palestine. And so when he gets deported back to Palestine, I think that's what's going to cause the riots because BLMers have been converted into pro-Hamas protesters. I think they're going to start acting like Hamas in the summertime. But we got a lot of candidates for the new George Floyd. So I suppose we'll know in a month or two once it starts getting really warm outside because that's what happens. We've had protesters outside for years. At this point, they're just not real active, which is why we haven't been covering them. They're just kind of pissing and moaning. There hasn't been a whole lot of violence. But in the summertime, they stand out there and piss and moan all day. But it's hot. They're getting sunburned. They're getting overheated. They're getting heat, sun poisoning, stuff like that. They don't eat, right? So there ain't enough riot pizza to go around. And by the time it gets dark outside, people start acting like animals and shit. They all start getting rowdy. Piss bottles get thrown. Molotov cocktails are getting thrown. Buildings and cars are being burned. And that's what kicks off the riots and stuff. I don't think we'll have George Floyd level riots, but you never know. But I think we are going to have a spicy summer. Like I said, we got a lot of candidates for the new George Floyd situation. So who knows? Who knows how this is going to go, but it's looking like we got the symptoms of a spicy summer coming up. I think we're going to be busy this summer. Either way, reading through the chat, like I said, and we got Lefties Losing It coming up next. Got some. This tool was never hit. No marks. Stabbed an unarmed teen. Hope he gets what he deserves. Absolutely. There's no way they can say this is self-defense. There's just no way. Sam, from what I understand, he brought a butcher's knife. Interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen the weapon yet. Maybe we will during the trial. Judge 1776, the father Let's see. The farther apart the eyes, the more dangerous. Oh, the farther apart the eyes, the more dangerous. I don't know about all that. Can't wait for them to go to jail like the Michigan shooter parents. They might. I still don't understand how it's all going to go down. I'm shocked that the parents are out there crying and doing all that stuff. Because like I said, usually when you get legal counsel, they tell you shut the hell up. Doing all that talking usually does not help you, especially if you're going to go to trial. It's one thing to have a pre-trial and get a plea deal. These fools are going to go to trial. Like, they're not going to get a deal. Their son's a murderer. The only chance they got for him to not go to prison for the rest of his life is to go to trial and con those 12 jurors into believing that he's the victim in the situation. Russell, the whole thing's trying to bring out racism. Yeah, that's absolutely what it is. I can't believe that their kid stabbed his kid and then they turned around and called him a racist. Man, you know, the dad has some level of self-control, I tell you, because he was interviewed right after it happened. He's crying and shit through the whole interview. He never said he wanted to do anything bad to those people. He didn't even say anything about the other kid. He was just upset that his son is gone. Then he goes to the press briefer and he gets escorted by police out of the building. And then they call him a racist on top of that. That dad has got some self-control because, man, you would think what goes around comes around, and that's what the dad would be thinking. Jay Spray, the 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bed because she's in the house with a killer. Yeah, for real. Zero, no tears. Fake. Yeah, I think so too. Zero, what about the dead kids' rights? Yeah, they don't want to talk about that. Jay Spray, typically this would be the victim's parents. Yeah, it would make way more sense if that was the family of the kid that got stabbed. It's so ass backwards. Guess if it was my son, I'd be in prison and on my second boyfriend. I'm saying if it was my kid got stabbed to death, there's terrible things would happen and I'd never get out. I would never get out. There's just no way. Enter user, I can hear it now. The family's been through enough BS. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Shroomish, I shouldn't have read that out loud. Yeah, Lisa, I think we are going to have a spicy summer. Pumpkin, you know he's a good boy. That's what they're trying to say. Fade, especially when Trump's in office. Absolutely. It's riot season when Trump's in office. MC, the left will use anything they can at this point. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a blue sky. Better hit the streets. Start rioting. Air 16, this will be OJ 2.0. Nah, I hope not. If the knife don't fit, then you must acquit. Stop that. Mike T, when does the woke movie come out? Yeah. MC, they're going to use this to push a race war. Probably. It's what I don't even know why they brought racism into it. Like, normally that happens when the white kid kills the black one, but when it's the other way around, usually you don't hear about racism. Now we're hearing about racism, but the victim's family's racist? Oh, okay. Pag, piece of shit. Yeah, they are. The whole family is. Torp, happy freedom. Daddle, happy freedom to you. Her lawyer probably told her to be quiet, but her ego told her otherwise. Definitely could be the situation. She's like, how am I going to get more donations if I just sit here at the house and do nothing? Better go out there and hit the streets. Little Ripper, yeah. We're going to be covering the spicy summer, that's for sure. Damon Walker, they should put the donors in prison. Yeah, it's really crazy because the stabber is making more money on GoFundMe or whatever they're using than the victim. Like, that's so crazy. The victim is getting less donations than the killer. That's the world we live in. Damon Walker, it's all fake. You think the whole situation's fake? I mean, it could be a giant psyop. What's up, Bloopy? Happy Freedom. Bloopy. The minister guy speaking for the family has got a serious criminal record, including felony beating of a child. Holy. You know, that kind of doesn't surprise me either. What's up, FEMA region? Happy Freedom. They're trying to make this the new OJ trial with a huge public outrage. Interesting. That's the second time it's been brought up. What's up, Jay Collins? Happy Freedom. She seemed the most angry that they haven't been able to access the money yet. Yeah, I noticed that too. What's up, Corn Pop? Happy Freedom. Derek Chauvin never got a fair trial and nobody cared. Now we're demanding a fair trial. Yeah, and Derek Chauvin should be getting a retrial because they came out and said that George Floyd died from an overdose. The coroner said that. Everybody was saying that in the chat when we were covering the trial live. But the coroner a second opinion came out and said, no, he died from an overdose. So with that information, they should have brought a retrial, but instead somebody stabbed Derek Chauvin, almost killed him. FBI showed up and went and interviewed the guy that stabbed him instead of interviewing him. And so it seemed like the Fed boys set Derek Chauvin up to get murdered inside in jail or prison or wherever he is. He survived, and that was the last we heard about it. But Derek Chauvin should be getting a new trial. There was a reporter that asked President Trump if he would pardon Derek Chauvin, and he just pretty much shrugged it off. He didn't want to interact with it at all. Of course, it would look bad or whatever to some people if he did pardon Derek Chauvin. But I think that Derek Chauvin deserves a retrial. I think with new evidence coming to light, that is a legitimate reason to get a new trial, and I think he deserves one. That's just my opinion. Damon Walker, the left's drawing straws? Absolutely. Guess so. I'm not going to read that out loud, but that's funny. All right, hooligans, let's get into the last little bit of the news. We got Rita, and she's going to be telling us about the lefties losing it. Hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
It's time for Lefties Losing It, and George Clooney was on CNN being interviewed by the fawning Jake Tapper. Clooney, sporting one of the worst dye jobs in Hollywood history, is again lying and playing the hero, claiming that it was his civic duty to out Joe Biden for not being up to it and needing to step down.
You yourself did something that a lot of people would call brave when you wrote your op-ed.
Well, I don't know if it was brave. It was a civic duty. When I saw people on my side of the street not telling the truth, I thought that was time to...
Are people still mad at you for that?
Some people, sure. People criticize me. They criticized me because of my stance against the war 20 years ago, and some people picketed my movies, and they put me on a deck of cards. And I have to take that. That's fair. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with criticism for for where I stand.
Really, I'm just marveling at that hair dye. I mean, how? Why? No. We did cover this whole thing when he tried to rewrite history on 60 Minutes a few weeks back. You know, George must think we're all suffering from Biden's cognitive decline, because far from taking a principled stance and doing his civic duty, George Clooney was part of the Biden cover-up. Not only did he hold a massive Hollywood fundraiser for Joe Biden, we all remember the president glitching and having to be assisted off the stage by Barack Obama. And then we had the White House lie to us and say the videos of him being helped off stage were right-wing disinformation. I remember all that, and I remember that George Clooney said nothing. That all happened at his event. He didn't do his civic duty then. No, he waited weeks and weeks and weeks. Only after Biden had that disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump did George Clooney write that op-ed. In fact, a couple of weeks after the debate. Now, protests continue against the president, but don't bother asking any of these concerned citizens what they're exactly protesting about.
Can you tell us about your sign today?
Well, he's a liar, don't you think?
What do you think is the biggest lie he's told?
I think everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. I think everything that he says, you should believe the opposite.
Any specific examples?
Where do I even begin?
Thank you.
What do you?
You can come join.
This is my son, River.
Hi.
What's a lie that Donald Trump has told?
I mean, I don't like him.
They've got no clues. Now, I wonder what this next lass is talking about. Perhaps the Secret Service would care to have a word with her.
Is there not someone out there with a terminal illness that's willing to do it? I mean, I'm sure people are willing to help. If you're willing to do it, I think that there are people willing to help organize it.
Now, remember when New York Attorney General, the woman who campaigned on a promise of getting Trump, remember when Letitia James weaponized her office and conjured up absurd charges in order to get Trump? She claims no one is above the law.
Stand up and enforce the rule of law. The President of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
You were saying?
The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence.
As a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple.
Oh dear, looks like the karma bus has come for Letitia, and maybe she knew it was coming, because watch here at the National Action Network 2025 convention early this month. She looks nervous. She's unraveling.
My mission is clear. I'm focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies. It's up to us. We saved this democracy before.
Her eyes are in surround sound.
Joining me now is host of Sarah Gonzalez Unfiltered.
All right, so that there is Lefties losing it. And that's the last little bit of our news. We're going to be getting into the fun stuff here. We'll be opening today's door from the advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer. And then we got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled, When the Cat Helps You Figure Out Who Broke the Vase. And then our official funny video of the day is titled, The Opposite of Good Advice. This is coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Lefties losing it. Josh 1776, I don't know what that is. Mac Daddy, what direction is she looking at? She was looking at the whole room all at once. Astro Hammer, did Letitia James steal a fat suit from one of those Eddie Murphy movies? I think it was based off her figure. Russell, Clooney's trying to save his reputation, but people see through it. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, he looks awful with that dye job. It makes him look a lot older. Zero, Chauvin deserves a fair trial. Yeah, I think so.
So recent.
I'll have to watch it, Josh 1776. If it's the video I think it is, we cannot play that on the live. What's up, Creaky Kiss? Happy freedom to you. Screaming Eagle Laura Ingraham sucks too. I used to kind of like her, but she was like going hard over at Trump for no reason. Like, she interviewed Trump and was like giving him a hard time for no reason. And it seems like after that, she's been, I don't know, kind of fake. Like, kind of, I don't want to say like over embellishing, but just kind of overreacting to the news that she's covering. Just being like a little bit too dramatic. Mike T, being loud makes it okay. That's how it goes. Being loud means you win the argument. Pumpkin Letitia's so pretty. That's so nice, Pumpkin. I bet that's the nicest compliment she's ever got. Dual care. That was Clooney? I know, I haven't seen him in a while. He looks awful. Pumpkin. They want to take their vacation before the trial. That doesn't surprise me. What's up, Twisted? Happy freedom to you. Stirring that hair is hilarious. He got old and doesn't like it. Yeah, I think you're right. Mares, happy freedom to you. Why do they scream? Do they think it'll make them sound more believable? There's a certain ignorant mindset where if they're the loudest, they're right. And that's how it is. I have siblings that are like that. I've fought people in the past that are like that, where it's just, I'm just going to scream over you and that makes me right. And that's what somebody does when they don't have facts. If they have facts, they can just lay the facts out on the table and let the facts speak for themselves. And they go out there and they say, la, 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 la. It's because they ain't got nothing going on. It's like trying to be right with brute force. Ball, she's shaped like Grimace from McDonald's. A little bit. Ball, that left eye is trying to escape. I'm thinking so. They were damn. What did Don do to them? Hold her accountable. Guess same reason babies scream. They ain't got all the facts. Yep, they're right. They are right. All right, hooligans, let's get into the fun stuff. Like I said, we're going to be opening today's door from the advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer. I hope Hair Juicer's out there having fun, missing him in the chat. Then we got our 2 funny videos of the day. But before we get in, look at Klaus Daniels hanging out, finally. Did you murder the stink bug? Did you negotiate? We don't negotiate with terrorists. You know that? You don't want to talk? Oh, okay. He wants to keep it off the record. Anyways, like I said, we got 2 funny videos coming up after the advent calendar. But first, I'm going to remind you, hooligans, really quick. If you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You could do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Like I said, we're going to open today's door of the advent calendar. I wonder what we're going to get today. Yesterday we opened door 2, and there was nothing there. It was just blank, and so we had to go to door 3. Now today we're going to open door 4. Hopefully there's something there. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Ooh, I don't want to mess my things up. Let's do this. Trying to fight me. I think I'm losing. Okay. What is this? Got a key ring of sorts here. Actually, I think this is a water bottle clip. You clip the water bottle on and then you can hang it on your bag. I'm pretty sure that's, yes. So you take this, you can open it up, put it on the water bottle. Let's test. I got a water bottle right here. Is it going to work? It might work. Ugh. There we go. Just like that. Fantastic. As you guys know, this is a survival advent calendar. We'll see if this helps me survive. This was what we got in the first day, was this bag. What does this word mean? Like, what is that? How do you say that out loud? I've been trying to get Kat Daniels to figure it out with me, but, you know, it is. We're both at a loss here. Anyways, thank you so much, Hair Juicer. I appreciate you. All right. Time to get into our funny videos of the day. Let's get this pulled up real quick like. Oh, I remember. All right. This is titled, When the Cat Helps You Find Out Who Broke the Vase. Look at the cat. Cat's like, who did that? Shout out to Breeze by You. Thank you so much for tagging me in that video there. It was a good one. Let's get into our official funny video of the day.
If you're not...
All right. This is titled, The Opposite of Good Advice.
If you're not happy single, you will not be happy taken. Happiness comes from alcohol, not relationships.
Listen, biologically, your liver can handle a lot more than your heart can. So that being said, you need to reject love and become an alcoholic instead.
That was terrible advice. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to grab this Linktree link really quick. We're going to drop it in all the chats. We're going to read through. And we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Let me see. Jay Spray, I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to read it again. I read it like 3 times, but I'm not sure what you're saying. Stern, I've tried both and neither worked. Yeah. It's like that sometimes. Alright, hooligans, there is the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you would like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7, and we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. The built-in chat has more abilities than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You will also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You'll have access to the forums, the arcade, and our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. So definitely go join the membership program over on jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. Like I said, we're going to read through really quick, and we get the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Oh, J Spray for the messaging system. I know. It happens to me all the time, too. It's probably easy for iPhone users because they don't have buttons on their phone. They got to click on the screen and stuff. But for us Android users, yeah, I hit the back button and it backs me out of the page instead of the messaging system. I don't really know how to fix that. I'm working on it, J Spray. Guess stand tall whenever duty calls. If you're standing under me, please dodge those balls. Goodness. Wise words by Guess Some. Very nice. Zero, I have a relationship with alcohol. Ah, you're beating the system. That's what it is. Guess some alcohol causes relationships. I mean, I suppose. Josh 17 said, yeah, probably tomorrow. I already had it put on the schedule. I'll see about adding it tomorrow. Josh Simpson 76. Grocery store closes in 8 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to end up eating from the damn gas station again. Thank you, AR16. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Plastic Quack. Thank you, Pumpkin. Bill Clay. Looks like the coffee mug that dropped in the usual suspects. I don't know what that is, but Klaus, he's one of those usual suspects. I know that. AR16, I'm not hanging no water bottle from my bag. It ain't got to be filled with water. What's up, Blinks? Happy Freedom? Am I Jewish? Would it matter? Are you Jewish? It's fucking stupid. Why? You mean the religion or you mean my race? Like, what a fucking stupid question. Eat shit, Blinky. How about that? Fuck you. You show up in my chat? Jesus loves us. Fuck you. What is your name? Quiet Tone? No, I don't know what your name is. We'll go with Tone. That cat needs Carmelo Anthony's family's lawyer to give for a Give Send Go fundraiser. He's obviously the victim. Yeah, you could see the porcelain around his neck. I think the family was doing something wrong to him. Damon Walker, alcohol will always close a relationship. It's just the way of the beast. Yeah, alcohol's not good. Appreciate you, Tony Riz. Cricket Kids having issues with Rumble. I don't know what's going on with Rumble. Thank you, Damon Walker. Appreciate you being here. Wayward, he's Jeffish. I am, definitely. It might be J Spray. Bill Clay, you should watch The Usual Suspects. It's a great movie. I will check it out. Let me pull the tab up. Nah, Appeal to Heaven, I've never even heard of it. Thank you, Appeal to Heaven. Appreciate you being with us. Appeal to Heaven, you had an update for Rumble. Maybe that's what's messing things up. Thank you, Sage Pup. Appreciate you being here. Jesus, it's always Kick. Somebody was telling me I was Russian the last time. Tony Rez, internet's been acting weird everywhere for the last 2 days. Yeah, we've been having hiccups all day. Hasn't been too bad this second live, but we did drop 6,732 frames in the last 2.5 hours. So, I mean, there's that, but whatever's whatever. Either way, it's that time once again, hooligans. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we did the thing. We're going to read through one last time, but we are wrapping this up. We'll be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. And then after Coffee with Hooligans, we'll be getting in the voice chat over on jeffmaclive.com. So definitely go get yourself a membership so you can join us in the voice chat. It is a lot of fun. We're always researching things and laughing really hard. So like I said, get yourself a membership. We're going to read through, and then we are wrapping this up. Hey, thanks for being here, Jay Spray. Zero Usual Suspects is great. It's great. I'll have to, like I said, I got a tab pulled up. I'll check it out right after the live. Jay Spray, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna do the hooligan potluck. I think we're gonna do it in August. That way, if anybody's got school and stuff, school usually starts in September. So I'm trying to figure out a hooligan potluck for August. I was thinking the state park in Silver Lake, but we'll see if we can find maybe a place that's better, because I don't think phone service is very good out there. Stoner, Jeff eats the bacon. I do. Thanks for being here. Appeal to Heaven. Hera 16, the grinning Klaus of death. Yes. Tactical Cat. Thank you, Told to Care. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Pumpkin. Much love to you. Appeal to Heaven, it's unusual. I keep saying the wrong thing. Unusual Suspects is a mind twister a bit. Interesting. Thank you, Viola. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Crazy Times. Magic Moon had to use a different Ethernet hole on the motherboard because one failed recently. Interesting. I've never heard of that happening. Bloopy, Unusual Suspects is one of the first movies I bought on DVD way back in the 90s. Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. Tomorrow I'll know more about it. Thanks for being here, Wayward. Sage Pup. Hooligan Potluck. Ledbetter Beach, Santa Barbara, California. Y'all will love it. Oh, I can't make it out to California. I wish. I'd like to go see things, and not necessarily the protesters, but, you know, everything else. Yeah, Jay Spray, we'll have to figure it out. Hey, thanks for being here, Josh1776. All right, hooligans, I think we are good to go. Like I said, we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. We'll be keeping an eye out for Caroline Leavitt in case she decides to do a press briefing for Friday. Also try and capture President Trump live. But definitely go have yourself a good night. Go and get yourself some good food. I appreciate all of you guys being here. I'm going to try and do the same. But definitely come back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans. And I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.